Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna show you an interesting thing, and it is how to classify land use land cover based on Landsat-8 data inside QGIS environment using machine learning algorithms, which the most well known is support vector machine. In order to do this, I'm gonna use Landsat-8 data. So if you like these types of video, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel in order to be notified regarding the future videos from the channel. Okay, let's start. First of all, I'm gonna go to my browser, search for Earth Explorer. In order to download Landsat-8 data, open the website. If you don't know how to do this, there's a video in my channel that I will provide its link in order to use for downloading and also creating an account inside the Earth Explorer website. If you have already an account, you can use login. You can see that import your username and password and sign in. In the next step, define an area that you want to download Landsat-8 data. For example, for this area I want. At the bottom of data search criteria, you can see data range. Define the date that you are interested in downloading Landsat-8 data from 1st of June until the end of July. The most important thing in downloading this data is cloud cover. For this, I'm going to increase it to end of July. From dataset, we can select Landsat, and inside Landsat we have two levels. The main difference is that some atmospheric correction has been done on level 1, on level 2, and some radiometric and geometrical correction has been done on level 1. For this purpose, I'm going to use level 1 and click on result. It's going to give you a list of all available data that you can download. Check the cloud cover. If you find the one with less cloud cover, you can download it. It's easy. Okay, very good. This one is good. In order to download, click on download option. Very good. From product, you can click here, download product, that it's included all the bands and all available things that you can download. Define an output on my desktop, LULC. Inside that, I'm gonna set satellite data and save it here. It's gonna take a while in order to be completely downloaded. Very good. As you can see from here, the data is going to be completed. It's download. Once it's finished, go to the folder that you saved it. Since it's in a zip file, I need to extract it. I'm using WinRAR for this purpose. Okay, very good. It's down. Right now, in order to do a classification, open your QGIS software. For this purpose, I mean land use land cover classification, I'm gonna use SCP. If you don't have this plugin, from plugin, manage and install plugins. From search, you can look for semi-automatic classification plugin. If you click on that, it's going to give you a brief information regarding this plugin. You can read this information, how it's working, and here you will have an option install plugin. If you click on that, it's gonna install this plugin for you. After that, it's gonna appear here. It's easy just to click on that and you will have a tab like this. Here we have different options that I'm gonna explain you one by one when I call the image inside my QGIS environment. First of all, in order to call data, import data, here we have an option, open a file. This is for time that you want to directly call from your driver. However, if you have already uploaded your data inside QGIS environment, you can use these options. However, since I'm going to call from directly from my driver, click on that, go to the folder that you saved your Landsat-8 data. Here you can see I'm going to upload all my bands, apart from thermal bands, since we have two thermal bands, you know that, band 8, band 9, 10. I'm not going to use 10 and 11 since they are thermal bands. Okay, very good. Right now, click on OK, and you will have a band set like this. Here we have different options. If you want to move your highlighted bands up and down, you can use this and this one. If you want to sort your bands, you can use these options. If you want to delete one of them, it's a good one. And also, if you want to reset your band set, it's a good option too. Here we have a wavelength, depends on the data that you are using. You can choose one of them. Since I'm going to use Landsat 8, I'm going to use this one. If you are using the other data, for example, Sentinel-2, Landsat-9, you can choose. In wavelength unit, you can define your wavelength units and the data of the data that you downloaded. First of all, I'm going to create a virtual raster since I'm going to collect some training data for my machine learning algorithm. In order to do this, I'm going to select all my bands. Okay, if you click on run, it's going to ask you to select the folder that you want to save it. In order to do this, I create another folder and select that folder. Okay, when it's done, you can come here. As you can see, we have nothing, anything, virtual raster. In order to be visualized from RGB, you can change the visualization, and we have this a tile of image here. You can change to the one that you are interested. Okay, and also you can define by yourself. For example, I'm gonna use 432. This one is a true color composite. If you want, you can use 543 as the false color composite. Here we have different composites, and also for Landsat 8 bands you can use for defining training data in appropriate way. For example, for land and water, collecting data for land and water, you can use this combination. Okay, right now it's time to create a training input. From training input, here we have different options. For example, one of them is related to open a training input from your driver. If you have already some training data that you created before, you can use these options. Since I don't have this one, I'm gonna create by myself. In order to do this, you can click on create a new training input, click on that. Inside the folder, create a folder, training data. Inside that, give it a name. I'm gonna give it a name like a land use land cover abbreviation, and it's created. Here we have four options. For example, microclass ID, class ID, and also microclass name and class name. First of all, I'm gonna show you how it's working by giving them a name. For example, the first microclass that I'm going to classify is water body. Inside water body, I have a class, for example, lake, and that's it. This one, it's gonna be changed by ourselves. However, this one is gonna be changed automatically as our classes is going to be changed too. Okay, very good. Right now, I can do this. In order to collect some training data from create ROI polygon inside your QGIS environment, you can go to the area that you think they are lake. In order to start and collect data, press Ctrl on your keyboard. It's important fact, and then start to draw your your training data. When you down, right click. As you can see, it's gonna be like this. If you do not press Ctrl on your keyboards, pay attention what's gonna happen. I'm gonna create another one and right click. The first one is gonna be disappeared. However, if I do it with pressing Ctrl on my keyboard and right click, it's gonna be consistent. Okay, very good. This is the first class that I created. In order to create your temporary ROI, from here, save temporary ROI through training input, click on that. It's gonna take a while in order to be added. As you can see here, we created our first macro class and also a class. You can change the color from here. For water body, I think this one is good. As the lake, also you can change to this one. Okay, very good. Right now, I'm gonna go to the next class. For example, I have river also inside my study area. You just need to change the name of class. For example, a river. This one is gonna be changed automatically, as you can see. For river, I find it again, start to collect some training data. Try to do it across the study area. If you want to have a good result, try to collect much more classes and also much more training data. Okay, very good. Right now, again, I create my temporary ROI. This time, change the color to this one. And that's it. Right now, I'm gonna go to macro class ID 2. This time for vegetation. Change the class name into agriculture. Again, back to your image. Start to collect data from create ROI. Every time you need to be remember to press control on your keyboard. I showed you why you have to do this. Actually, you can have more than one vegetation classes. However, since I'm going to shorten the time of video, I define one classes for this one. Okay, very good. This time also for vegetation class culture, we did it. Again, I create my temporary ROI. You can change the color for macro class and agriculture too. The third macro class that I'm going to create is barland. Change to 3. We have land. Here we have bar. Again, back to your image from create ROI. You can do this by pressing again control on your keyboard. Okay, very good. Right now I did it for barlands. Again, create your temporary ROI. I'm gonna create another class for land, this time as the salty land. You can see here. To do this, click on create ROI, back to the area that they are salty, collect your training data too. Create on temporary ROI to save as a training data. Right now I'm gonna go to define the last class, change the macro class ID and also macro class name to built up area, and class name, my preference is to be city. Back to the image from create ROI, I can collect my training data by pressing control all the time. I try to do it separately in different parts of the image. Right now, save temporary ROI as the training input. I'm gonna change the color. For example, for micro class, I have this one, and for class, this one is good. Right now, we collected our training data for different classes in 7 classes. In order to do a land use land cover classification, I'm gonna back to my plugin from band processing classification. Here we have different classifiers and also different information. As the input, since I have one band set, I'm gonna select just one. If you have the other, second, third, you can choose that. Use training, you can use macro class ID or you can use class ID, depends on your preferences. However, I'm gonna use class ID. We have different classifiers, as I said before, and also you can see here. Since I'm going to use support vector missions, here I'm gonna provide a brief information regarding different parts. Equalization parameter C, I'm gonna leave it in default 1. You can change it if you want. It's gonna increase the time of processing. As the kernel, I'm gonna leave in default RBF. As you know, we have different kernels for SVM like linear, polynomial, RBF, sigmoid. Depends on your preferences and also your application. You can choose one of them. Here I have a brief information regarding different kernels you can see here. For example, RBF are using for urban land use classification and also linear for basic land cover classification. Very good. As the gamma, I leave it in as the scale. If you want, you can change it. However, pay attention that lower gamma, wider influence on the results, and also higher gamma, it's gonna give you less influence. However, the risk of overfitting is increasing. Then pay attention in choosing a value for this gamma. As a cross validation, it's used in order to avoid overfitting. If you check it, it's going to be involved in your training. However, if you don't check it, it's not going to be involved. As the balance class weight, you have these options and it's going to give all classes equal weights during the training data. Depends on your preferences, you can choose or not. As the find best estimator with the steps, increasing steps, it's gonna increase the time of processing and slower processing. Decreasing value, it's gonna give you a fast processing. As the final one, we have a calculate estimate classification confidence rested that I'm going to check it. And that's all. These are the most important information. And also from help, you can see much more explanation regarding different classifier. Here I'm gonna use support vector machine and brief information regarding different parts you can see here. They're very useful if you read them. Back into the classification, I'm gonna click on run. The next step, define an output here if you're interested. For example, I'm gonna create a folder, name this result. Inside result, name your TIFF file, LULC, and click on run. Okay, very good. As you can see, this is the classification result. We have almost very good classification using support vector machine for our Landsat-8 data. Okay, very good. In this video, I show you how to do land use land cover classification using machine learning algorithm. Specifically here, support vector machine based on Landsat-8 data in QGIS environment. If you like these types of video, please like the video and also subscribe to me to the channel in order to be notified regarding the future videos from the channel.